She was born in a royal palace in the Ming Dynasty, China, 1340 AD. Her mother was a concubine, not the emperor's favorite, but still beautiful enough to hold his attention. The other women never forgot. She grew up knowing the rules before she could read. Stay silent, bow lower than everyone, and never trust a smile in the Forbidden City. At 8, she learned the truth that should have felt like a gift. The emperor was her father, but it was no fairy tale. There were 20, maybe 30 others like her, children of the same man. Each one was a piece on the chessboard of palace politics. The titled daughter of the emperor meant nothing here. It was only another reason for people to watch her, envy her, and wait for her to fall. She had already seen what jealousy could do. She remembered the day one of her mother's rivals accused her of poisoning a cup of tea meant for a high-ranking consort. The emperor's mother demanded their execution. She was 9, kneeling in the icy courtyard, her mother's hand gripping hers so tightly her bones ached. The executioner raised his blade until a servant stepped forward, trembling, swearing her mother was innocent. The blade was lowered, but the message stayed clear. One more accusation, and they would vanish. Less than a year later, it happened again. This time, the charge was plotting to curse the emperor's health. Again, they were dragged to the same courtyard, the same cold stone cutting their knees. Again, a maid loyal to her mother saved them. Survival in the palace felt like walking on glass. Each step cut deeper. At 12, she found her only escape. Learning, she devoured poetry, memorized history, and mastered calligraphy, so fine the brush seemed to float in her hand. Her teachers, old men with memories of emperors past, praised her openly. One day, they bowed before the emperor himself and asked that she be sent to the Imperial Academy, the highest school in the capital. For the first time she could recall, he looked at her directly. When you are 14, you will go. That night, she dreamed not of silk or gold, but of walking the academy's courtyards, learning enough to build a life of her own. But the palace crushed dreams. Older children, sons and daughters of higher wives, heard the news. They began their games. They planted stolen jewelry in her room. They whispered that she mocked the emperor's mother. They tore her scrolls before lessons. Each time she proved her innocence, another rumor spread. The worst came weeks before her 14th birthday. The academy's invitation was withdrawn without explanation. She soon learned why. People whispered she was old enough now to be a concubine, old enough to be dressed in silk and given to some distant noble as a gift. Fear settled in her chest like a stone. Then one day, a silk trader from the southern provinces arrived. He carried kind eyes and smooth words. He claimed he had known her mother's family before she was taken. He told her mother he could bring the girl far away, to Europe, where girls could study freely, where no one cared about palace ranks or bound feet. Her mother's hands trembled as she listened. She had lived her life trapped in the emperor's cage. She would not let her daughter rot there too. She sold what little she owned, hairpins, embroidered sashes, secret gifts from the emperor. Go, she told her. Be more than this place allows. She left on a moonless night, slipping past sleeping guards. The trader led her through the alleys beyond the palace walls. For the first time, she smelled the city outside, sea salt, smoke, roasting chestnuts. For a moment, she believed she was free. The journey to the port took days. The trader spoke of European cities with marble streets, of libraries larger than the Forbidden City, of women who owned land and taught in schools. She clung to his words like a rope pulling her from quicksand. When the ship came into view, her stomach twisted. The hull was blackened, the sails patched and ragged. She hesitated at the gangplank. The trader's hand pressed her back. It is safer aboard, he said. She believed him until she saw the others. Children huddled in the dark belly of the ship, wrists shackled, eyes hollow. The air stank of fear and sickness. The trader's voice hardened when he spoke to the captain. He counted silver coins into the man's hand. She understood then. She was not going to Europe to study. She was cargo. The ship creaked as it left the dock. The city lights faded. Somewhere far away, her mother remained in her cage, believing her daughter had escaped. The girl pressed her forehead to the wood and closed her eyes, tasting the lie like blood. She had always known her life was not hers to keep. She had not realized how far the world could reach to take it away.